It's time for The Scraphouse with Austen Lane and Kasey Kuhrts on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
After a short 1-week hiatus where I wasn't sure I was going to make it through life, we have returned to the Scraphouse. How about that?
It's good to have you back, Kasey.
Sorry.
And I am once again coming from my infamous now orange Airbnb.
Listen, I'm very surprised to see you back in the orange Airbnb. I'm not disappointed per se, but surprised, circling back around to, once again, person of interest. You have a Wikipedia. Maybe stop doing these type of things. But at this point, it just feels like second home for you.
It's a second home. Hey, Kasey, I have a Wikipedia, but I also have bills to pay, right? So trying to save a little bit.
And so does Wikipedia. They have bills to pay too, because every time I click on the Austen Lane page, it's like, please donate 60 cents or we can't show you Austen Lane anymore. I'm like, you know what? It's fine.
For real?
Yeah, they're desperate for cents.
Yeah. Little bit of a firewall.
I guess they're not asking for much over there at Wikipedia, but they're asking for something. But nonetheless, Scraphouse, Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. We survive, we thrive, we move towards the Royal Rumble in WWE. Some actual AEW stuff to talk about, which is intriguing. I've got super beef from last week that we didn't get to get into, so we'll do that here in a second.
Let's do it.
It feels only right though that we should just start with AEW.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, listen, we need to start talking to the bosses, Kasey, because I feel like an hour's show to try to break down everything that we've witnessed this past week. And then on top of it, oh yeah, by the way, biggest Royal Rumble possibly ever.
Yeah.
There's a lot to get to tonight.
There is a lot to get to, and we'll try to get to it. But to start, AEW, as you know, Wednesdays, that's the marquee show, if you will.
It is.
Usually you would think if something's going to happen, they're going to do it on Wednesday nights on TBS.
It's going to be the showcase, right?
You would think.
You would think.
They've done some interesting things. Kenny Omega's jumping off all kinds of stuff, and then Will Ospreay says, hold on, I can do better. Massive beef with the Don Callis family and those two, and that is all well and good.
Moxley still killing people.
Moxley very much killing people. Swerve Strickland is mad at somebody, I forget who. Jeff Jarrett very much in the spotlight. Every time I turn to AEW, it's the Last Outlaw for some reason, yelling at MJF, and those promos are something, by the way. Something.
Old school, retro, shoot wrestling right there, man.
Yep.
Crossing a couple lines, I feel like.
It feels like a lot of lines. But nonetheless, that's what happens on Wednesday. And then on Saturdays, I don't want to call it, the minor leagues, the B show, but some questionable things happen on Collision. And it just happened to be last week in Jacksonville, homecoming, if you will. Toni Storm, if you're not caught up, quickly lost to Mariah May about 6 months ago at this point as timeless Toni Storm. Correct. Disappeared, retired, returned as Toni Storm, punk rock Toni Storm. Has been that character.
Well, it was punk rock, but it's like punk rookie Toni Storm. Like,
she forgot who she was, Toni Storm.
Yeah, like this new character was different than the old school punk rock one. Like it was her old gear, but it was
it wasn't
the
her
rookie Toni Storm.
Yeah. So a lot going on. Toni Storm wins a what do they call it? Casino Gauntlet match in AEW to get a shot at Mariah May's title. And then on a random Saturday night in Jacksonville, face-to-face, Mariah May, Toni Storm. Toni Storm very happy to be there if you ask her. Mariah May beats her with her championship belt. And then truly, out of nowhere, out of left field, right field, wherever you want to call it, foul territory, a different country. No, she has not forgotten who she is. It was the performance of a lifetime. As timeless Toni Storm is back.
And
I was
she's gonna rip a certain body part off.
Yeah.
Hey, the Meryl Streep of wrestling? Can we just call it that right now?
I mean,
and here's the sad part, Kasey. Like, I probably would have went to it if I was in Jacksonville, but got a fight coming up. So training in Miami. I didn't watch it live. And because, once again, Saturday and other things going on.
Sure.
I go on Twitter and I see Timeless and then Timeless Toni and then Toni Storm all trending. And I'm like, I hope she didn't get hurt or something, or maybe she retired.
Again,
I go on Twitter and I see the promo, and I'm like, that should have been reserved for a pay-per-view or at least on a Wednesday night because
Yes.
that was peak AEW. Like that was
Yes.
you want eyeballs on that, Kasey.
That is, yeah, absolutely right. And I didn't have enough time to find a picture that would fit the frame, so sorry for the aesthetically pleasing folks. But this is after she turns back into Timeless Toni Storm. A lot of people calling her short in this picture. She is kind of short in real life, but
She is.
like, I mean, nonetheless, yeah, I part of me understands what Tony Khan is trying to do here, because the one thing, at least about Toni Storm and that character, is like she pulls it off so well that wherever you did it, you were going to get the like it was going to pop on social, and it
Sure.
did, million views. But like, you kind of fumbled the idea of putting it in the middle of the card on a random Saturday night in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like, this should have been, I agree with, like a Wednesday night, they should have signed the contract or something, and she should have done it.
This literally should have been like the last segment of a Wednesday night Dynamite.
Yes, fully.
Like a Mariah May contract signing, and we're like, why is this the last thing? And where everyone's kind of hating on it. And then all of a sudden, Toni Storm just flips that switch, and it's like, I got it.
But it was cool.
It was great. It's just I hope enough people saw it.
Yeah, it was oddly placed. It was a great moment. What I don't know what it actually means in terms of this like,
it's intriguing now, Kasey, because
I know.
like this was her role, like this was her character that really put her over the top.
Mhm.
Right? Like people were kind of feeling the rocker and then like the rookie, but like she is known now as Timeless.
Right.
So do you ride that wave? Do you put the belt back on her? Or do you keep the momentum with Mariah May as a heel? I think there's arguments for both. And when you have arguments for both, that's something you're going to tune in and watch.
Mm-hmm. I agree fully. Part of me thinks they wouldn't go back to the Timeless gimmick if she wasn't going to beat her.
Mm-hmm.
But also, we were both absolutely shocked when she beat her the first time a year ago. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But AEW, what a moment! And then you are, I don't think you called her the best character in wrestling, but I said she's a good character. Harley Cameron, big fan.
She's my favorite thing in wrestling right now.
Favorite thing
Kasey,
overall.
Go ahead and I think so. Go ahead and give her the Chelsea Green Scraphouse stamp of approval.
She's I like the character.
Go ahead and give her the Apollo Crews Scraphouse stamp of approval.
Listen, there's only one Apollo Crews, and Chelsea Green. It took a couple months to grow on me, but I agree that I like whatever the character is that she's playing, or maybe that's just who she is as a person.
Yeah.
But I do like it. I'm not sure how much I like it, not as much as you, but I like it.
So here's the thing, Kasey. Like, I like it because I feel like it is her. Like, yeah, now she's a little unhinged, and
Right.
she's probably not that unhinged in real life. But she can sing.
Mm-hmm.
She can play the guitar.
She did do that.
She can do puppets, whatever
That's
you call
right.
it,
That's right.
What do you call that? She's like a puppet master?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, yeah. So she does that. Has the sense of humor,
Mm-hmm.
has the look,
Mm-hmm.
has the wrestling capabilities.
She can wrestle.
I feel like she's got it all. They just got to use her right, man. And obviously, that can be a thing.
That definitely can be a thing in AEW. Meanwhile, Mercedes Moné has 4 titles at the moment. She can't even carry them all. So, no comment on that. But, all right, AEW cooking a little bit.
Cooking a little bit.
We'll have to keep the monitor on it and see what happens from here.
And then, once again, in case you missed it, John Moxley's still doing just the same John Moxley stuff.
Yep.
It's literally the same stuff. Now they're feuding with Edge. Cope. Cope, my bad.
And I think tonight, if Jeff Jarrett beats Claudio, he gets a shot at Moxley's title. We'll see. We're all good.
Hey,
I know.
Hey, watch this one. Watch the fireworks. Is it fireworks? Okay, never mind. There was fireworks before I did this.
That's right.
In my phone. Yeah. Never mind.
Believe me, we're all good on that. All right. So WWE, we move. Very much cooking as well. SmackDown, please go back to 2 hours. Like I have some things I have to do at times.
Yeah, man.
And like I just could not get through it this week until I heard a little birdie.
Here we go.
That Apollo Crews may or may not have been on television in the ring in front of a crowd. And I said, well, I got to check this out.
Against Johnny Gargano, which I thought was going to be a squash match. Was going to come on the Scraphouse tonight.
You thought Gargano was squashing him?
I mean, I didn't think it was going to be a squash match, but I thought it was a way to like keep getting Johnny Gargano as like a heel. But no, I was wrong. Apollo Crews with the big time dub.
Look at this. Here's my thing. Triple H, whoever's making decisions, Paul Heyman, how do you not see this and go, we need more of it? Like, you need more of this right here. Drops him. Nothing special happens after this, by the way. He just drops him straight on his face. Gotta love it. I do, though, as I watch the match play out, hey, camera guy. Hey, director of SmackDown. Hey, Triple H. I don't give a damn about bum-ass Motor City Machine Guns coming down the ramp. Oh, we're so scared of the machine. Oh, no. Can we get the damn camera on Apollo Crews? Because he's rolling up Johnny Gargano. We're at a 2.5 count before the camera even switch. Tessitore's like, oh, he's rolling him up. And I'm like, where is it, Joe? Show me.
All we see is two just like medium-sized machine guns hanging out.
Unbelievable. We're more concerned about who's coming down the ramp. Apollo Crews is winning.
Bit of a botch there.
He's continuing the undefeated streak. Dude hasn't lost in years. What in the hell was that? Damn it.
I'm going to be honest, Kasey. And you know, I've been a little more critical of Apollo Crews than you have. You've been on that Apollo Crews bandwagon.
Love him.
I thought they showcased him great in that match because if you noticed, it was power moves followed by an athletic, like high flying move. And I don't think that was by accident. I think they're trying to showcase him as both types of wrestler, where this guy is strong as you know what, and you can do whatever there. But guess what? He's super athletic too. Here's a standing shooting star press. Thanks for coming.
Boy, oh boy. What
Just
a moment.
Kasey. I'm not lying.
Leading up to the Rumble too.
Okay.
Boy, are people going to be surprised when number 30 is Apollo Crews.
Hey, Rock, CM Punk, just Roman Reigns, chill out.
We'll see ya.
It's Apollo Crews time.
Apollo Crews time. I mean, what a moment. All right, so here's my beef with SmackDown. Outside of that, because, you know.
Well, I mean, besides the 3 hours, and I agree with you there, it's way too long.
It's a lot. So, I want to say 2 weeks ago now, I'm watching SmackDown live. Just chilling, hanging out. And they go to one of the video package things, the vignettes or whatever. And they're showing this person, getting on airplanes and doing this type of stuff.
Someone call her the queen, I believe. This is where we're going. Yeah,
I think that's where we're going. And Amanda's not paying attention.
Okay.
And I just am immediately furious. Because why are we doing video packages for her? Wouldn't it have been a million times better for her to just hit at the Rumble?
You're not wrong.
Why did we do that way? We all know she exists. We all know she's a person. Yeah. And we're showing these video packages like we forgot. Like, no. Like, AEW did it with Julia Hart. Cool. I forgot she was a person. Sorry. And they were cool. But you don't need to establish that Charlotte Flair is coming back as this rich brat character. She's been the rich brat character her whole time.
No, this is a great point, Kasey. And we're sharing a brain here. One of the cool things about the Royal Rumble is it's kind of full of unexpectations, right? Like I remember when Edge debuted, whatever, 4 or 5 years ago, crowd goes insane. I remember at WrestleMania when the Hardys debuted for a long time coming. Nobody saw that coming.
Right.
No, promos, no trailers, no vignettes. They just showed up. That's what the Royal Rumble's for.
I know.
And if you mean to tell me like at number 30 or 29, 28, whatever the case may be, you just hear the dun, 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 like that's going to get the pop.
Would have been perfect.
But now we're all expecting it. Oh. I agree with you. I didn't need to see it.
And now, like, this may be off, but like, she's not winning now. I think it's hard for her to win at this point.
So I think it comes down to a few women, Kasey. And I think she's one of them. Like,
sure.
We'll talk about it later. The men's Royal Rumble, hey, It's wide open.
Yeah.
I think though the female one is a little more boxed in.
It is, but like, I don't know, because I think you're also probably, and I think people are all on the same page, like you're going to get like a Becky Lynch potentially in the match, which will be shock.
That's a big surprise.
You may get AJ Lee. I know there's a little social video on Punk saying
that would be your gigantic survey.
Right. So that's the only reason I can think. But if you don't get one of those two and then you tease Charlotte for no reason, I think you really fumbled that.
Yeah, there's got to be a surprise.
Unless she's coming out on Friday
Lynch or
night.
whether it is AJ or both of them. But check this out, though, man. Like, I feel like the reason why they did tease Charlotte is because of that. Now, we'll watch the Royal Rumble. And if we don't see Becky Lynch, if we don't see AJ Lee, then yeah, you drop the bag, Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's only so much room for the surprise. And if it is going to be like an AJ Lee, then yeah, the whole Charlotte thing makes a lot of sense.
Sure, I'd agree. But I just, hopefully they've got something, because I was very unhappy when I saw the video stuff.
I hope as well. I'm going with the Jacob Fatu prayer here.
I like that. We'll get to him here in a second. As now we actually
we will.
Wrestling Saturday Night Main Event, small card, drawn out show. I'll give you that.
Jesse the Body calling the crowd bananas.
I mean, Jesse the Body.
What is a banana?
I mean, a couple things interesting that we'll get to with him in a second. And this is kind of how we thought it was going to go. Like, you had 3 matches that you pretty much knew exactly what was going to happen. I don't think we thought Jacob Fatu was going to lose. So that kind of puts you in, you know who's winning every match and what's going to happen with Cody and Kevin Owens with the contract signing. So we'll get to that. But I do have to say this. First match of the night, Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax. And I've been known to come on here and say that Nia Jax was not good at times, right?
I think we both have.
Call it as you see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Nia Jax was fantastic.
I thought she was great too.
Best match in a very, very long time.
Agreed.
Now, is that Rhea Ripley or is that Nia Jax? I don't know.
It's a combination of both, Kasey, but like we're so used to seeing Rhea Ripley be like the powerhouse that she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go against a woman like Nia Jax, who's obviously bigger, more powerful. I thought they told the story brilliantly.
I agree. And I liked we're not even going to get the name introductions in. I'm just going to straight headbutt her and here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
And Kasey, how'd you feel like the old school feel, like the microphones coming down and the kind of like that retro?
I didn't hate it.
Did you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was different.
Yeah, it was definitely different. Because at first when it happened, I was like, what is hanging from the sky? And I was like, oh, the microphone. Cool. Because I
now why there were 2 mics, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either on that. But yeah. But overall, I thought Nia Jax was good. I at no point thought Rhea Ripley was losing, but I thought they definitely. It felt like Nia Jax had more of a struggle with Rhea Ripley than anybody else she's wrestled. It's struggle in a good way, like struggle in this is real. Because again, like we've talked about it with some of the other opponents, like it just hasn't looked right. I thought it looked absolutely perfect. Now you can't have her wrestle Rhea Ripley every day, but
no,
I thought that was well executed. When originally I was like, "Why are you doing this?" Because you had to fill time to get to the Rumble. I get all that, but I thought the match, the lead up to it, and how I thought it was all very, very well done. I'll give Nia Jax
and I agree with you. I really didn't have anything bad to pick apart from it.
Okay. Braun Breaker, Sheamus. Enter Jesse the Body Ventura. Okay, so I was very confused because you knew you're going to get him one match on commentary.
Yes.
And when it was this one, I was like, all right, whatever. I thought it'd be Gunther, but okay, that's fine. Sure. Immediately calls Braun Breaker and his father an idiot. So that was interesting. Can't do 2 + 2 is one heck of a shot. And then as the match plays out, which there's some other stuff to get to, but Jesse the Body furious that the referee's counting too slow. And it was so well done to the point where I was like, he might be dead serious. Like, this might not be a work. Like, he might legitimately be mad at how this is going.
Yeah.
And I think that's just awesome. Because for the whole time, I'm like, he might just lose it here any second.
So he is so unhinged. And like, I remember, I guess it's funny because I remember him like being a kid watching Saturday Night Main Event with him. And I didn't really appreciate it when I was a kid. I didn't really get the gimmick.
Sure.
I was just like this crazy, glamorous looking dude who shouldn't really be that glamorous. Like, I'm so confused. Now I get it. And I love it, Kasey, because he blurs the line between reality heel and like going with the show.
Hmm.
And you never know what he's gonna say. And I tune in to watch stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the Pat McAfee things that he does really great is he's always so spot on with like his quips. Like he's very fast.
Hmm.
He's got like, a good comeback. He's always, talking trash and everything. Even Pat McAfee at some points, if
Yes.
you look at his face, it's just like, I don't know how to deal with this dude. Like
Yep.
he's a renegade. He's a wild card. I love it. I get it's not for everybody. I think it kind of brings back that classic heel, color commentator. I'm all for it.
It was interesting, dude. I was like, holy cow, like this is just he's not happy with what he's saying. Like I again, like it very well could have been if you would have told me that wasn't what he was supposed to say, I'd have been like, yeah. I could believe that. And if it is what he was supposed to say, then yeah, he was furious. Oh, what a moment. What a moment. Anyway, the match itself, the spear off the stairs, Sheamus is in midair.
Yeah.
Nasty work.
Yep.
Just nasty work. Braun Breaker, very good at this. I thought for a second that Sheamus was going to get it. I did.
They kept teasing it. Only belt that he hasn't won.
Yep, over and over.
I thought, yeah,
he dominated for
a
good
minute
minute
there too. The bro kick.
Yep.
And then thankfully gets his foot on the rope, which
again,
I guess the ref shouldn't have seen.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point. Jesse was like not happy again with the referee work, not thrilled. I do think that part's funny where like when that is what happens and the foot goes on the rope, ref sees it every time immediately.
Of course.
But like who was it on Raw? McIntyre. When he's pinning and he's like standing there, he's like upside down on the ropes.
He's like
refs nowhere to be seen, just counting, not even paying attention. It's like maybe Jesse the Body Ventura is onto something. Like we got to pay more attention here, referee team. But anyway, Braun Breaker gets the win. Sheamus, I would say go to the back of the line, but I feel like we're going to see this again any minute because they keep. If it's not Kaiser, it's Sheamus.
Triple threat coming up.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably how that'll make sense. But yeah, I thought there was a chance Sheamus could have got it because Braun Breaker goes into the Rumble. Like, you could play that card. I'm glad they didn't. I think this is a better spot for Braun Breaker, but nonetheless, he picks up the win. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens face-to-face. Shawn Michaels moderating the contract signing. Cody very eager to sign the contract. Kevin Owens not as much. The crowd very much hates Kevin Owens, by the way.
Yes.
And I guess it wouldn't be a Shawn Michaels segment if somebody didn't get kicked in the face.
Yeah, again, has some sweet chin music. Yeah, overall, a good segment. I mean, the whole Shawn Michaels coming out and saying you're just jealous to Kevin Owens and everything. It's funny how this whole storyline's going, though, because yes, Kevin Owens is the heel, but he's a heel that's kind of washed in truth a little bit, where you can see where he's coming from a little bit. And that's an interesting wrinkle.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and this goes to, what happened on Raw a little bit as well, but just they're trying to set this up in a way that like this is going to end at Royal Rumble. I don't think there's a scenario where this storyline ends here. Which is so either, somewhat confusing for the Cody Rhodes part of the story. You know what I mean?
Well, and this kind of, and we'll get into Raw a little while later, because it kind of dragged over to Raw too with CM Punk saying how Cody's looking exhausted, he's losing all his friends. Like, it leads you to believe, is this whole Kevin Owens storyline the start of a long story to turn Cody heel?
Or crazy, one of the two.
Or crazy. Both.
Yeah, both. But nonetheless, the contract gets signed. We'll get to that here in a little bit when we get to Raw. They will have their match at Royal Rumble. Didn't have squash match on the docket, I guess, for Saturday night's main event. But Jacob Fatu got about as close to squashing as anybody as you can get with Braun Strowman.
So this was a Jacob Fatu legacy game right here.
This was.
This was the legacy game. A guy who we all had as a heel going into it left as the biggest face maybe in the company.
Isn't that so wild?
It's insane. And pandering to the crowd, going back for whatever the 6th backflip that he did. That's face behavior. And like I was kind of excited for him because he looked a little shocked that the crowd was reacting
The
to
way that it
just
was, yep.
everything that he was doing. It was a weird thing though, because like obviously Braun Strowman was the face,
hmm
but then I feel like he was getting booed and people weren't with him. It was a weird situation.
It
But it was
is.
great though for Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, it was weird, and it was fantastic. Here's the two things I'm thinking while I'm watching that. One, Bronson Reed is somewhere got to be pissed off that they took his gimmick. I mean, has to be upset. That's all I know.
Yes.
And then second, I'm watching this thing play out, right? And he's killing him. He's Bronson Reeding him. He's John Moxley him without the bag, right? And I'm like, man, why are they doing this? Like he's gonna be out of action for a little bit.
Yeah. The 20th time that his hip put the head in the turnbuckle.
Exactly. So I'm like, why are they doing this? And then I'm like, oh, that is Braun Strowman. I mean, look at it. I mean, blood on the face.
Man.
This does not look like someone that's coming back from this.
Nope.
Then I go, if only there was a storyline that could involve Braun Strowman getting killed. And then I'm like,
buckle up, everybody.
when he's like dead, not moving, I'm like, you don't say.
Right.
The Wyatts are on SmackDown now.
Right.
Where's-
Are they? Because I haven't seen them in like.
Well,
a
that's what they
month,
say.
but-
That's what they say.
Okay.
Jacob Fatu very much on SmackDown. I don't really know
Yeah.
where Braun Strowman's. He's wherever they need him, I guess. But I'm like, well, damn. If only they could use a dead Braun Strowman for a storyline. So now I'm thinking that they're listening, and I'm back on the Braun Strowman dies and is a ghost Wyatt. That's where I'm back at. I think that's what
Bronson
they're going to
Reed
do.
started it. Jacob Fatu finished it.
I think that's what they're going to do. I fully believe Braun Strowman comes back as a dead man.
I'm with you, and I hope so because I don't know, man. I feel like in WWE, I feel like in wrestling in general, there's only room for one like beast,
Sure.
right? Like
Mhm.
you can't have Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. You can't have Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. Like one of them's got to die or at least go up for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. So, yeah, I think Braun Strowman goes away for a little bit, comes back reincarnated, probably a cool black sheep mask,
Uh-huh.
and let's start cooking.
See, how great. Here's the one thing about like Braun Strowman in a mask or like being a dead character. You can't really front it that it's anybody else. You know what I mean? Like if it was Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, like you could probably do some stuff where you're like, I don't know who this is going to be here. But there will be, there'll be no questions.
Imagine, like, okay, the Wyatt Six comes out and whatever, Karrion Kross and all his cronies jump the Wyatt Six. And all of a sudden, here's some dude in a hoodie, zipped up, coming through the crowd. And it's like, who's this? I'm like, oh, dude, that's Braun Strowman. Who else would it be?
Who could it be? He's 6'10" and
Arms
400 pounds.
ripping through the sweatshirt,
Who could he
tattoo
be?
showing. That's Braun Strowman. What are you talking about? Hey, Michael Cole, just call it like it is.
Michael Cole. You're who else
Wade
could it
Barrett,
be?
Whoever is on the SmackDown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Would be Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
So yeah, didn't have that. Didn't have guy getting killed. But as he was getting killed, I'm like, man, Austen Lane is good at this. He can see
What'd I
the
tell you,
future
man?
before it happens. Closes out with Gunther, Jey Uso. I thought Jey Uso was winning
Yeah.
after the second spear, which almost felt like a botch because Gunther didn't go down, but it looks like it was, right? But he hits the second one,
Yeah.
and he's going up to the top rope. I'm like, oh my god, Jey Uso's winning. They're like,
Oh, when he hit the Uso splash,
it's over.
that's what I thought too.
I couldn't
I'm like,
believe it.
wow, like main event, title change, like it's gonna be crazy. NBC, let's go.
I couldn't. The crowd, everybody, we all saw the same thing. It was very well executed by Jey Uso, very well executed by Gunther, because Gunther had been playing the down and out for the last couple minutes, and I was like, holy! And it was like the craziest part about it was like 58 on the clock. So it very, very much had enough time for him to win and celebrate on television. And I was like, oh my god, he's winning. Then he kicked out. I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like they got me. They got everybody. Like it was so well done. They got everybody. But
But the ending though with it, how'd you feel with the ending?
didn't love it.
It was pretty abrupt, right?
Yes, and now I don't know if that's because again he hit the splash at 59, or 58. But
Yeah.
again, like it was like Jey Uso spear, something, another spear, Uso splash, kicks out. Gunther basically gets up and ends it, and I was like, no, don't love
Yeah,
that.
it'd be like opening like that great bottle of whiskey. Like, it had everything going for it. And instead of like, letting it breathe, you just chugged it as fast as you can and threw up all over the place.
Basically, yes.
Still good whiskey.
Yeah.
Just didn't get to enjoy it like you wanted to.
Yeah, I think more so the moment was the fact that Jay didn't win more than Gunther
Mhm.
actually winning, because we all knew at that point.
Yeah.
Good job though of establishing, because now I feel like we all feel like we know what it would look like. Jey Uso could win, because before I was like, what would it look like if Jey Uso actually won? That just he didn't kick out.
Yeah.
Like we can all see it now. So now I have some thought that it may happen at some point. One of the time, I don't know where, but like I feel like you're now at the point where you could see it happening. So I thought it was a good night for Jey Uso, even though he lost, and then Gunther's Gunther.
Yeah, I mean the ending was a little abrupt, but at the same time, I think it did a good job of like we all because we showed a brainer, Casey. Like I was like, oh wow, Jey Uso's gonna win this thing over Gunther of all people. And then all of a sudden Gunther squashed it like that, and it's like, oh, that's right, it's Gunther. The guy's like unstoppable. So I mean, while I didn't like the ending, I did kind of appreciate how it was almost like, oh, you guys must have forgot who Gunther is.
I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, Saturday night's main event. A lot of stuff that we thought was going to happen, but you had the moment with Jey Uso where he thought he was going to win. Didn't see Braun Strowman getting murdered. Overall not bad. Not mad that I watched it live. It was pretty quality. And it was on at this. That's what it was. It was on at the same time as the Toni Storm thing.
That's right. Yeah. So hey,
Yeah.
sorry, Tony.
Yeah, not great. Like I understand what he's trying to do. He's like, don't get me wrong. Like he's like, don't. When people see that it's timeless Toni Storm, they'll flip the channel. They didn't.
Yeah.
Spoiler: they did not. Because nobody's expected when you put their face to face on the card or whatever. No one's like, oh, she's gonna change character. No, not at all.
Nobody saw it coming.
Nobody saw it coming, which is good, but not necessarily great for Tony Khan and the lads over there at AEW. All right, Monday Night Raw. Listen, finally. All right, WWE, I'm not going to say they've been struggling, but you're always looking for a superstar. Somebody to make the people feel something, either negatively or positively. And listen, you've got some people that people like to see, right? Seth Rollins, woohoo, happy to see him. Gunther, boo, we don't like you. Gunther, whatever, you beat Jey Uso. Jey Uso, we love you. Yeet, sure, cool. CM Punk, we'll chant your name for 10 years. It's fine. I mean, does anybody make a crowd react the way that Logan Paul does? Holy cow.
Got that Dom heat, Casey.
Bro got the Dominic Mysterio heat 2.0. Nuclear heat.
Yeah.
They hate him.
And he was right at home.
He just ate
Handled
it.
it like a pro.
Just yelled over him.
Great stuff. Even the what chance, which can throw some of the younger wrestlers off, he took that. He rolled with it.
Switched up his cadence a little bit.
Man, like I get, like, listen, I've said this before, right? I'm not the biggest fan
Right.
of Logan Paul, but I respect him. This is different now, Casey. Like the heat that he's getting, which I feel like he's going to continue to get. It's great, man, because he's so young, and he's even alluded to it. Like he just started doing this. So like he's only going to get better and better. Like he's already got the IQ, he's got the ring work. Whoop! I get so excited I knock my phone down.
It happens when you talk about
But
Logan Paul.
yeah, I thought it was fantastic. Well done.
Oh, over
Wow.
2.
Sorry,
Logan
man.
Paul debacle.
All right,
You're
there
good.
we go. Now we're back. Let me just get back into frame here.
Yeah, you do that. And
Yeah, it's all right. You just keep talking about how good Logan Paul is.
he's great. And where has he been? Needed him back. I thought it was extremely well executed. Again, they hate him. They absolutely hate it. He is somebody who can never, ever be a face. Like, there's not many of those people. There's no way you could ever do it. Because people
that
hate
was
him
the
in real
thing.
life. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, like, and then he calls out Gunther. I'm like, well, you're not gonna wrestle Gunther
You're
unless
not
you
gonna
want to turn Gunther face. Bring back the turtleneck bun, Gunther.
Which, by the way, Gunther has had a nice rebound of hatred again. Remember, like a month ago, nobody knew how to feel about Gunther, and now he's back to insulting people's families and winning. So,
Well, yeah, did a fantastic job. Where he's like, and Jey Uso, Whip his ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
So people are back to hating Gunther, which is awesome, but people hate Logan Paul more. So yeah, those two definitely will not be wrestling. Seth Rollins just very much happy to be included in this thing. Seth Rollins has to be annoyed a little bit though, because like people love Seth Rollins. They sing the song, Monday Night Rollins, cool. But at the first chance of CM Punk, we're definitely gonna chant CM Punk, which I think legitimately makes Seth Rollins mad.
Yeah.
So bro's just living in it. Can't win, can't beat him.
Yep.
Only loved until somebody better comes along. Like, don't get me wrong, he has a great life, but Seth Rollins.
No, some of the best stories I feel like are steeped in a little bit of truth. And I really feel like Seth Rollins does not like CM Punk.
I believe that. I believe that to be true 100%. Anyway, those three beefing a little bit to start the show. Logan Paul, though, definitely, I think, the story of that segment. And then back-to-back promos, Sami Zayn walking around the back, trying to make friends, trying to say, hey, I didn't mean to kick you in the face. And then tell CM Punk, you're not on my level. That's confirmed because you never main evented WrestleMania. I was like, damn, Sami Zayn. Cook him.
Yikes.
So where are we at on that? Just the fact that has been brought up every show in the last 3 months that CM Punk hasn't main evented WrestleMania?
Oh, I got a big prediction. And it came to me during the final segment of Raw.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll get there in a second. I'll move through some of this other stuff. The War Raiders with the win over Judgment Day. The story here is JD McDonough survived this.
I thought he killed himself.
I mean, it's
Like,
bad.
So when you watch it live, you don't really see the impact. But you hear like, oh, he's down. I'm like, oh man, he must have smoked his head. They showed the replay literally like 8 seconds later.
Boom.
And I'm like, hey, is this guy even up yet to show this replay?
Yeah, is he conscious?
Dude, it was so nasty.
It was not good. Yeah, I mean, it was just, ugh. And then I was like, all right, they're going to end this thing quick because he's got to, he legitimately has to be hurt. Like, there's no scenario.
Hit the back of his head on a table.
At 1,000 miles per hour.
Yes. And he's not a big dude.
No, I mean, yeah, there's no meat back there. I mean, he took it. So I'm like, all right, Dom's going to get pinned. We're going to move on. Nope, we're going to wrestle another 10 minutes. McDonough's going to go to the top rope and fly and backflip and do it. I'm like, dude, he has to
bumps. He has
to have no clue where he is. As it turns out, he didn't. He has like a punctured lung and something else, neck related. But I, like watching that live, I was like, oh boy. And like you could see during the match, the ref kept going to him. It was like, are you alive? But I feel like you should have called it at a certain, like, I don't know. It just looked super, I mean, it is bad and it looks super bad. Props to him for finishing the match, but like, holy cow.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, Kasey. He almost gets, I like to call it the Becky Lynch treatment. Becky Lynch was kind of on a plateau until Nia Jax broke her nose.
Right.
And then it put her in a different stratosphere.
It did.
You could take 10 casual wrestling fans, have a picture of JD McDonough, and ask who is this, and be like, he's in the Judgment Day, but I can't put a name on him.
Sure.
I feel like that performance right there helped solidify him as a professional wrestler. Yeah. Now, best of luck to him. Hopefully he recovers quickly, but I think the fact that he did finish the match is only going to help his stock rise.
I agree with that. Mm-hmm. By the way, so Judgment Day at this point, McDonough is going to be out. And I guess is out.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got left? The Judgment Day, Carlito and Dom. I mean, we're all set.
Yeah,
might have to pump the brakes on that story for a bit here, but nonetheless, JD McDonough. Hopefully, you're all right. Atlanta's favorite son returns to Atlanta. No, not Braun Breaker. No, not Cody Rhodes. And I forget who else she said. Who was the other one?
Yeah. A-Town Down Under.
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory.
I was like, really? That's a heck of a pull. But so, which did not make Xavier Woods happy, who is technically who Kofi Kingston was talking about. And that leads to a match with Rey Mysterio, in which for a while Xavier's parents do not show up. And then, as fate would have it, they made it to their front row seat with Lil Yachty. Am I missing something? Is Lil Yachty related to Xavier Woods and I just don't know?
I don't think so.
All right, just happy to be included. I like that a lot.
I guess.
He's had some bangers. I'm not mad. Cold like Minnesota, for sure.
5 years ago, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
Just bring out Waka Flocka Flame while you're at it.
Ooh, in fairness, they did have 2 Chainz. It's been a while since 2 Chainz.
Yep, and Pat McAfee said "titty boy," so my son heard that one. That was cool.
He did say that. I forgot.
Well, yeah, I mean that's another nickname. It's just
That's
Hey,
true.
you know,
Hey, Netflix. You know what I'm saying?
hey, Netflix.
Say whatever you want.
Yep.
And then obviously the moment. And by the way, Xavier Woods in the match looked damn good until his parents turned on him and hated him.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was cooking, and then the Judgment Day sucks shirt from your parents definitely has to hurt. What a run is probably not the right word, but what a couple of months for the Judgment Day thing. Remember, for so long we're like, we know what's happening,
Yeah.
Complete opposite, left turn, and now everybody hates him. The crowds, the rest, like it's kind of an unbelievable story. The only thing I can think of for a payoff that makes any sense is what you've been saying. With Big E.
Yeah, because we're on the same page here. What's the end game?
It has to
Right?
be. There's only one.
Think about how much heat they got when they had the anniversary for the New Day.
Mm-hmm.
And like that may have been the best promo, or that one or the one before the ceremony when it was just Xavier and Kofi going back and forth,
Oh, that's right.
kind of speaking truth a little
Mhm.
bit. Like you've had some fire promos. And I don't want to say it's getting stale, but we see where it's going now.
Yes.
And the thing about this storyline is it's kind of been unexpected. A lot of curves, a lot of twists and turns. I hope the end game is with Big E somehow.
It has to be.
But I don't know, man.
There's no other pay. And like it's too big. It's not a huge story, but it's too big of a story to just go away and forget about.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you see them, it's like, oh, that's right. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
you got to pay it off with something. And like, if not Big E, then who?
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know. But I think obviously the perfect world is Big E somehow eliminates them in the Royal Rumble. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope so.
Nonetheless, even Xavier Woods' parents hate him. So sorry about that. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. So shout out to Rey Mysterio, who Pat McAfee called him the bloat on the during the match, which was
that's right.
That was something. But nonetheless, Jey Uso with Quavo comes out to address the crowd, yeeting all over Atlanta to tell them he lost to Gunther. So that was
and an awkward Michael Cole handshake.
Yeah, that was rough. That was not great.
Wait, which one was more awkward, Michael Cole and Quavo, or Brent Martineau and Liam Cohen?
My favorite awkward Brent Martineau handshake is with Trevor Lawrence at one of the draft parties. I got to go see if I can find that video. I'll send it to you because it was much worse than the Liam Cohen one that I saw on Twitter was not great either.
It was 30 seconds long.
Yeah, it was long. There was a lot of hand holding in that one.
Two alphas not letting go.
Really not. That's right. That's just what that was. So yeah, there's a lot of awkward handshakes around here for Brent. But Michael Cole did not do himself any favors with the Jey Uso handshake. But Jey Uso going into the Royal Rumble, so shout out to him for that. Lyra Valkyria forgot she won the title, but more importantly, don't think I've ever heard her talk.
Yeah.
So I was a bit confused on both because they showed her. I'm like, oh, that's right. And then she started talking. I was like, she's Irish?
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit when she won the belt. Like, you forget because like she's cheering for Sheamus and everything. I'm like, yeah, and nothing like. I guess I don't judge a book by its cover, but like I thought she was more like I don't know Spanish or something like
not
that.
Not Irish.
Was not expecting the Conor McGregor.
Yes, correct. And also, hey, can we let her wrestle? Like Chelsea Green gets to wrestle all the time with her title. Lyra Valkyria is like, no, that's cool. I'll just hang out.
And she's talented.
She is talented.
Let her do her thing.
Looks like she'll beef with Ivy Nile. And Chad Gable just disgusted by Otis being on TikTok with Maxine Dupree. So Otis got to be confused every time he shows up to work. Hey, can you shave live on the show? Cool. Hey, can you do some TikTok dances and then get kicked? Awesome. So as long as
can you sell this? Cool.
I mean, basically, Otis, the walking billboard, if you will. The walking endorsement, as they call him. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. I guess we're not showing Liv Morgan entrances anymore. She's just going to appear in the ring. What?
Watch me not have an entrance.
What has happened? Like, she was the champion 2 weeks ago, and now she doesn't even get her entrance on television?
I know, man.
Wild. They actually end up getting the win over Naomi and Bianca Belair. Naomi crazy slip on the ropes when she was going up to do her thing, and still hit the move. Cleanest botch of all time.
Didn't even notice it. Like, it happened. I was like, oh. And then I looked back. I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, just still unbelievably clean. But Liv and Raquel get the win. A little cheating, I think, involved in that one.
But
Dom got involved a little bit.
that's right. That's what it was.
Dom's trying to get the love of Liv back. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Yeah, that's where we are on that. Bailey might be Bailey reminding Rhea Ripley that she won the Royal Rumble last year. She could do it again, and
Probably not going to do it 2 years in a row. Then that was your own curse.
Yeah, you probably screwed that one up, Bailey. That's okay. Thanks for coming on the show that one time.
Yep.
Penta's going to be in the Royal Rumble. Cool. Add to it. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman in the little corner on the cover of 2K. Now, here's what I'll ask you about this.
Mm-hmm.
As this promo is going on, and Paul Heyman is saying all these nice things about Roman Reigns and how he's the one and the one to be on the cover and the one this and the one that and the that. I mean, there was a lot of, in my head, going, man, the last time Paul Heyman was talking about who the one was when it was Brock Lesnar and the one in 30-1 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were thinking?
I mean, I thought about that. Yes.
And I was
that's not where I'm going to go with this whole storyline. But yeah, it did remind me of the Brock Lesnar thing. The one to put the one in Undertaker's
31-1. Yeah. That's what so in my head, I'm like, well, Lesnar's definitely in the Rumble. That's what this means. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. Because I was like, why does he keep saying it the way that he's saying it? So that's where I was. Where were you?
Okay. So I think it tells a lot that Roman Reigns wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me. Okay, so Paul comes out. Yep. Drew McIntyre then comes out.
After he talks. Yep. After, Paul does his thing. He's about to leave. Drew McIntyre
kind of tell him off. Then Cody gets jumped. Wait. Yeah. So Paul does his thing.
Yep.
And then whatever, Drew says Cody Rhodes gets jumped.
Drew says he made the bloodline because he's the one that started that story. They couldn't have done it without him. Yeah.
So here's where I'm going with this, Casey. I think if Roman Reigns, first of all, this Royal Rumble, you can really pick like 5 guys that can possibly win this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is why I'm excited for it. And I think the fact that Roman Reigns wasn't there when they unveiled the cover is pointing to that he's not going to win the Royal Rumble. I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. But how do you make Roman Reigns still relevant and not win the Royal Rumble? I think Paul Heyman being on the cover in the small little corner, where he's like this or whatever, I think it's got all something to do with the storyline, man. I think the Royal Rumble, the final couple guys, I don't know, say who you want. It could be John Cena. It could be The Rock, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Big E. But I guarantee you Roman Reigns and CM Punk will be like one of the last 3 or 4. I think Paul Heyman's going to cash in on the favor during the Royal Rumble and be responsible for taking out Roman Reigns and helping out CM Punk.
Now, that would be something. That'd be nuts.
I don't know if he's going to grab his foot. I don't know if he's just going to order Roman Reigns to just get down. But I think Paul Heyman's going to have a direct influence, whether it's expected from Roman Reigns or Roman Reigns falls in line. But Paul Heyman's going to cost Roman Reigns his opportunity. And it's going to be because of CM Punk wants his favor.
Huh. That'd be wild.
Because I think CM Punk closing out the show with Cody Rhodes, Casey, I think that tells you all you need to know right there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. By the way, McIntyre beats Sami Zayn. Then Drew gets attacks Sami. Cody saves Sami, attacks Drew.
That's right.
Kevin Owens attacks Cody. Sami Zayn kicks Cody in the face on accident, which makes Kevin Owens excited. So that's how that played out. And then you go to commercial. Cody's still down in the ring. When you come back, here comes CM Punk. Mm-hmm. And you have this promo going back and forth, going into what you just said. My thought when that was happening was, damn, Tony Khan got to be pissed. He had them.
True. I didn't even think about that.
Can you imagine if they are the main event of WrestleMania, Tony Khan's gonna be like, dude, we screwed this up.
Don't you kind of think that's what it might be though, too? Just because a little middle finger there to Tony Khan from Triple H?
Possibly.
Like, look, we took your 2 guys that you couldn't use properly, and they're gonna headline WrestleMania.
Yeah, listen, I don't hate the idea. The one, for some reason, I keep thinking them telling us that CM Punk never main events WrestleMania is like actually going to be this time that he doesn't. Like, they did it with Tiffany Stratton all those times and she cashed in and it did work. For some reason, I do not think that CM Punk is going to main event WrestleMania.
So here's what else I'm thinking though, Kasey. And I agree with you. Like it almost seems a little too obvious.
Uh-huh.
But then who's gonna be the one that takes CM Punk over? Like, because that's gonna be the story then. Like if
Cena.
CM Punk doesn't headline WrestleMania, he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, whoever puts him over the top rope, that will be the story. It can't be Drew again.
Cena.
And it can't, then it might be Cena.
That's how you
It
keep
might be Cena.
That's how you keep Cena out of the title
Okay.
picture.
I'm cool with that then. But like I don't want to even see it be Seth Rollins either.
No, I think you're more. I'm leaning towards a John Cena CM Punk because Punk has mentioned Cena multiple times. If you get something like that, if there's a last 3 situation and Cena eliminates Punk and then whoever eliminates Cena wins, you could have those two. I think that makes sense. You could do that. Everybody would be pleased. Like no one's going to be mad at CM Punk and Cena. You could even keep that going in the Elimination Chamber, have them both be in it somehow, and then somehow, some way, someone eliminate, whatever you do there. But you could keep that going and then give them the match at WrestleMania. Now, obviously, what that brings up is who the hell is facing Cody? It's got to be huge, massive blockbuster, unless Cody doesn't win against Kevin Owens. And then you're going a whole different direction.
Yeah, which I can't fathom that happening. But let me ask you this, Kasey. Do you think Randy Orton shows up and costs John Cena? And there's your match.
Yeah, it could make sense. I mean, I would think Randy's going to be
I mean, there's
Rumble.
a reason why he's been gone for so long.
Yeah. I mean, the Rumble thing is just unbelievable. I mean, you've mentioned it, but I mean, all of these people that I'm about to say, I feel like have a case to win.
Hit me with it.
John Cena, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Roman, McIntyre, Rollins, Chad Gable. I'm dead serious on Chad Gable.
If The Rock shows up.
The Rock, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be thrilled, but Solo Sikoa in some.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you want to talk about Heyman potentially turning on Roman, does Solo come back into play there? Does he team
there
Solo? Who knows? Sami Zayn, Logan Paul.
Relax.
Logan Paul could win.
Relax.
Logan Paul could win. So that's 12. Penta's going to get a push. I'm not saying he's winning.
He'll get a push.
So that's 13. That's half.
I know.
Realistically, I could see winning.
That's ridiculous. Because, like, think about it, Kasey. Every single Royal Rumble, you've gone into it, okay, it's going to be like one of 3 people. Like you just said, there's an argument for a lot. Like, this is the most excited I've been for. I mean, I've always excited for Royal Rumble. It's probably my favorite pay-per-view. But this is the most excited I've been for a long time for a Royal Rumble.
I agree. And then, I mean, let's just say, who knows where they're putting the matches, right? Well, let's just say Kevin Owens loses to Cody first. Let's say they open with that. Cody,
which makes, I don't know. Do you close with it or do you open it with it? You gotta open with it, right?
You're going to close with the men's Rumble.
You got to.
So Kevin Owens could very much be in the Rumble if he loses. Wouldn't that be something if he loses the match and then wins the Rumble? And that's how you keep this story going?
That'd be insane.
So there you go. There's 14. I don't even know if we said Rock, but you're talking about 15 people. Half of this could very realistically win it. And then you've also got people that I didn't mention.
Vici.
You got Vici. Vici's in there. Apollo Crews is in there. But you've got like Kaiser, who isn't going to win, but like is very much relevant. LA Knight. I mean, who else could even be in there? I mean, Braun Breaker could be in there. He's not got nothing going that night.
No, he could definitely be in it.
Sheamus.
I mean, he should be in it, but he already has a belt, so that doesn't do him any favors.
No. There are going to be very few irrelevant people in it. Like usually you have a handful of like, this ain't happening. Yeah. And then also somebody, not a probably potential of winning, but a Carlito level somebody who has not been on TV in years maybe will be a surprise.
Yep.
Maybe Aleister Black's in it.
Good call. I didn't think about him.
I'm just trying to think of who, like maybe the Hardys are in it. Maybe Joe Hendry's in it.
Yeah, I like Joe Henry.
I mean, he ain't winning, but like
No, but just to get the
someone's gonna
crowd
be there.
involved, the theme song
Yep.
makes sense.
So
Yeah, wild man.
wild stuff. So, yeah, that's where we are. So I guess we're at predictions at this point. 5 minutes left in the
Let's
show.
get it. Okay.
Start with Cody and Kevin Owens.
I have Cody retaining.
I do too. I feel like they've kind of told us there's a little bit of a chance. Because then you make Cody going like this Cody insane character. I think they are going to push that, win or lose. Cody is likely retaining. I think so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the feud. I think there's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. The Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. I believe it's 2 out of 3 falls.
Okay.
DIY? Going back to the Motor City Machine Guns?
I think DIY.
I do too.
Keep it on them.
There's no reason to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then, Motor City Machine Guns. Hey, you've already won it once. To win it back at Royal Rumble.
Like, yeah, what is this, hot potato?
Calm down. You know what I mean? Calm down. All right, Women's Royal Rumble. So, known people in it. Nia Jax, who will have 10-plus eliminations. If you can find that prop bet, go ahead and do that. Bayley, Charlotte, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Becky Lynch, potentially, and AJ Lee, potentially. Jade Cargill returning, potentially.
She's gotta.
Now maybe that's how you advance that story. Jade Cargill comes back. Bianca and Naomi. This is how I see it. Bianca and Naomi are in the ring, and Jade's like, "Nah, she's the one that took me out."
Yeah. Okay, Kasey.
Get some of that going.
In the kitchen,
cooking. Raquel Rodriguez, a possible.
Who do you got winning it?
If there's no surprises, Charlotte. If there's surprises, I'll still stay Charlotte. I'll stay Charlotte the whole time.
Do you think Charlotte goes with Rhea Ripley then? Or does she go with Tiffany Stratton?
I think you got to go Tiffany Stratton. Somebody has to work on Friday nights.
But it's too similar.
I mean...
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, Charlotte is going to be a heel, though. So maybe it is with Rhea.
I mean, I think AJ... I mean, I would be cool to see AJ Lee. And you might see her. I don't see her winning it.
No. AJ would have to go...
I mean, I'll take Becky Lynch then. Just someone different.
Isn't it funny how we think it's both people that don't currently have, like, working? I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But...
Watch it be Nia Jax.
It's not going to be...
Goes after Tiffany. Okay.
I mean, what would be the point? Like, I'd be annoyed.
There's not a lot of options there, Kasey.
I get it, but I would not be happy. Because I'm trying to figure this out logistically, because Charlotte's definitely a heel. Tiffany...
Well...
Is Tiffany...
Yeah?
I think so.
Okay.
Is Tiffany a heel? Like, are we still struggling there?
She's on the fence.
Well, if you want to make her a face, then go Charlotte. Yeah,
Rhea.
With her. Well, no, if you want to make Tiffany a face, put Charlotte with her as a heel, and you'll get that
I
fix.
got you. Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. And then Men's Rumble. Who's winning? Yeah, Gable.
I'm taking CM Punk. I think
Dragon Lee.
Paul Heyman's going to do something crazy, and people are going to be left shocked, and he's going to cash in on that favor that CM Punk asked for a while back. And I think Randy Orton's going to take out John Cena.
I like it. I like everything about your idea there. But I'll be different. I think the prime is going to be flowing. Give me Logan Paul. Paul.
They're going to be riding in Indy.
Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, main event of WrestleMania night 2.
There's going to be cars tipped over, burning fire.
Logan Paul.
Calling the National Guard.
Put it out with Prime, because you're going to have plenty. It's going to be
calling
flowing.
Jesse the Body Ventura, calling a bunch of bananas.
Jesse the Body just furious at Logan Paul. Can you
I hope
imagine?
he calls the Royal Rumble. Both feet didn't touch the ground.
Oh, man. Man. It should be a good one. Royal Rumble, men's, women's, Cody and Kevin Owens, as well as the tag team titles on the line on Saturday. I guess that will do it for another edition of Scraphouse.
Sounds good.
On this Wednesday on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Enjoy your week. Stay safe in the orange room.
Will do.
And hopefully we'll talk to you next week in the Orange Room as well if you're still
You
alive.
will, and we'll have a lot to talk about.
I think we will indeed. We'll leave you with a shot of Jacksonville. Until next week, have a good week, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.